We know trafficking is real. We know it has real victims. No one is denying that. But these films are created out of moral panics.
Why is it political already? This is supposed to be about the kids, bruh. How's this political already? Let's see what CNN is talking about.
And you seem pretty familiar with him because he doesn't really hide his association with this real wild plot that involves, drinking children and things like that.
No, he doesn't hide it at all. And you have a lot of people who are in this world of QAnon who say, oh, they don't know what that is. They've never heard of it. They're just asking questions. With somebody like Jim Caviezel, he is openly embracing it. He's openly using its catchphrases and its concepts. He's speaking at QAnon conventions. And this film is being marketed to either specific QAnon believers or to people who believe all of the same tenets as QAnon, but claim they don't know what it is.
And The Sound of Freedom does focus on a real issue of trafficking. But that theme, it's sort of like that kernel of truth that feeds the QAnon conspiracy theory. Tell us how those two things work together.
Okay, how come she wants to focus on that QAnon conspiracy theory? But she did say that this is about a real issue, but she don't want to talk about the real issue. She wants to talk about the QAnon thing. So feel free to let me know about the QAnon thing, because I'm not real big on like all this stuff. I'm just now learning about it, to be honest with you. QAnon, whenever I hear that word, I don't know what it's about. I don't. I'm just now looking into it now, and I have not seen the movie yet, but I have seen one of the actual agents who are boots on the ground in many of these places, who gave out a bunch of information about how these children are being taken, what's being done to them, and how they set up a sting and actually caught 7 traffickers. And those 7 traffickers were convicted. Not only did they catch them, and it was like they took some pictures or something like that saying, yeah, we get to get some stripes on our belt for it. Nah, they actually was convicted for it. And they saved over 20 kids in that sting, I believe. So why are they focusing on that part? Please let me know whatever y'all want me to know about the QAnon.
Sure. And the most durable and the most believable conspiracy theories are not entirely false. There's something in them that is true, and the rest of it is false. But the believers point to the one true thing, and they say, oh, you don't believe that this particular thing is true. In terms of child trafficking, we know trafficking is real. We know it has real victims. No one is denying that. But these films are created out of moral panics. They're created out of bogus statistics. They're created out of fear. And with something like Sound of Freedom, it specifically is looking at QAnon concepts of these child trafficking rings that are run by the high-level elites, and only people like Tim Ballard and only people like Jim Caviezel, and by extension, only people like the ticket buyer can help bring these trafficking rings down. So there's a very participatory element. You're not just going to see a movie, you're just killing 2 hours on a hot day. You are helping bring down these rings and save children. Now, it's not true, but it's a very comforting and it's a very warm feeling to have.
All right, so this gentleman wrote, he's the author of a book that says the world's worst conspiracy theories. And he's saying that the people who claim that by supporting this movie, you are attacking sex trafficking and you're preventing these people from getting our children. And he said that that's not true. I want to know why that's not true.
Now, it's not true, but it's a very comforting and it's a very warm feeling to have.
What level of moral depravity do you have to descend to get on national television and actually attempt to discourage people from seeing a movie exposing international child sex trafficking that you admit exists?
Thank you, Steve. See, and that's the problem right there. The daggone movie talks about real issues, but y'all are all on TV pissed off because it makes no sense. It makes them seem culpable. It makes them seem like they're a part of it. It make them seem like, oh man, they've gotten too close to our base. We need to do something about it. Are y'all the ones that's keeping these damn kids?
How morally sick, how vile do you have to become to actually think it's virtuous? It's a valorous act to deliberately dissuade awareness away from this unspeakably wicked industry. Bogus statistics? Moral panic? Well, as you saw with your own eyes, or as you heard for our podcast audience, CNN is openly attempting to deter their viewers, what's left of their rapidly dwindling audience, from seeing a movie that exposes modern-day slavery. And they want you to think they're virtuous in doing it.
And that's horrible. That part right there is so many red flags that this brings up, man. Because they tying it into one thing, the QAnon conspiracies. They're bringing this movie up and they're just trying to scare people. They're trying to panic. But look, you don't need to be panicked and you don't need to be afraid. Are children being snatched? Yes, they've been snatched by the thousands. Okay, it's no biggie. We're on top of it. Are we on top of it? We're not on top of it. We're working on it. We're working on it. Okay? Y'all don't need to go see that movie. Huh? Go see something nice.
CNN just set a new standard for what moral filth looks and sounds like. Remember, this is the network, the so-called news network, that told us that Trump colluded with Russia to steal the 2016 election. Jussie Smollett was the victim of a race crime. Brett Kavanaugh was a racist. The COVID lab leak was nothing more than a conspiracy theory. Border agents on horseback ran around whipping migrants.
Does that say Trump P-tape? Bruh, does this say the Trump P-tape? And a lot of this stuff on here actually was opposite of what CNN and MSNBC said it was. They were just trying to discount it. None of Jussie Smollett, they just trying to frame him. They're upset with him. They're trying to make it seem like that. And it all turned out to be all acting. Horrible acting, but all acting. And this dude, come on, bro. This is wild. Why, CNN? Why? I don't get it, man. They're talking about real life issues, real things that are going on. We all have daughters, sisters, aunts, teachers. We all have nieces. Some of us care about these kids. And they're not only taking girls, man. They're taking boys too. They're taking babies. Babies, man.
The Covenant Catholic school kids were cruel, racist tribalists. Trump built cages for migrant kids. And of course, the piece de resistance. The Hunter Biden laptop was nothing more than Russian disinformation. That network that actually reported all of that as fact, that network is now reporting that the extraordinary new movie, The Sound of Freedom, is nothing more than a bunch of QAnon conspiracy theories.
Much love to this dude, Dr. Steve Turley, bro. You are on point, man. I didn't know. Honestly, when I clicked the video, I did not pay attention to the fact that it was Dr. Steve Turley's video. I thought it was a CNN video. I was wondering why in the world are they so pissed off about a video, about a movie that is exposing an extreme dark type of organization, underworld, that's just destroying our world right now, destroying our country. I think when we watched that one movie where it was this one agent who was boots on the ground, he said it was like in the millions of Americans who this is happening to, not only around the rest of the world, but millions of Americans that this is happening to. Come on, bro. This is crazy. It's absolutely insane. Even talking about certain countries where, to protect their homes in some parts of Africa, they got little children genitalia hanging from their roofs. And we're like, how in the hell did they get these children genitalia? Well, obviously they kidnapped them and they took them off. And come on, bro. And the left don't want this to be exposed. Why? That's the question. Why do they not want this information to be out there? How will this information negatively affect them? What are they trying to cover up? Who on their side is knee deep in this whole thing, is benefiting from this? Those are the questions. It's like they're so stupid to just get so damn loud and they're not even trying to hide the fact that they are culpable in some way. Because if they weren't, they will be on the side of the rest of the people whose jaws are dropping and are just looking at the whole situation pissed off and just blown away, man. But they just like, no, we shouldn't be talking about this. We shouldn't be watching this. We shouldn't be looking at this. Mel Gibson is crazy. Jim, the actor, is crazy. The QAnon conspiracy, that's just fake. But all the missing children and missing people are real. Make that make sense.
And the beauty of it all, no one's listening to them. Look at this. The Sound of Freedom is projected to have earned over $40 million in its opening week. 40 mil. To make it even sweeter, Sound of Freedom crushed Disney's Indiana Jones at the box office, grossing over $14 million on their opening day, July the 4th. By contrast, Indiana Jones brought in only $11 million on its opening day. Keep in mind, Indiana Jones is at every movie theater in the nation, and it's often showing in several different theaters at the same time. So you can go to a showing pretty much every hour on the hour throughout the day. Again,
they don't want to look at Harrison Ford's old ass trying to get out of a cave. Is that Harrison Ford?
Again, by contrast, Sound of Freedom is only in a limited number of select theaters, showing in a single theater at a time, and yet it crushed Indiana Jones. I saw it over the weekend. My wife and I went to see it. It was amazing, gang. I mean, just in terms of storytelling, it was utterly riveting. And I mean that very specifically. I mean, it was an excellent movie. So yes, I'm all for the message. Yes, I support it, right? But I have to say, I was just so impressed. I was so blown away by the top-notch level of movie making. Jim Caviezel gives an excellent performance as Tim Ballard, the former government agent who plunged into the dark world of the international child trafficking ring. The movie, again, is extremely intense. It doesn't shy away in the least from this disturbing multi-billion-dollar industry. It's the fastest growing illegal industry anyone has ever seen. And the movie does an amazing job of exposing this dark and seedy world precisely in order to raise awareness, and by raising awareness, bring this wickedness to a final and decisive end. And the legacy media is so utterly and collectively depraved that they're actually panicking over the success of this movie. Wait until you see this. But speaking of the level of depravity, you know, we can actually use our elite's corruption against them. You know that companies like BlackRock have been bribing corrupt politicians like Nancy Pelosi with insider trading secrets for decades now. They know a whole host of other inside baseball tips that gives them an unfair advantage when picking stocks. But did you know that thanks to a little-known SEC database, guess what? We can have access to those very secrets as well. We get to see what stocks these corporate CEOs are buying up in real time, and then we get to piggyback on their trades to gain the same advantage for ourselves that Pelosi and the crooks in D.C. have. My friend Ross Givens has been tracking insider trading for years.
Shout out to Dr. Steve Turley. I want to say that your setup is amazing, bro. Sound quality and everything, the way you have it set up is absolutely awesome. I look at this as someone who actually started a podcast before starting to do this YouTube stuff. And, you know, the visuals, you know, with the bookshelves and everything's well lit is dope. The fact that he has it, how he has his videos edited, great job for that. This dude has a lot of things going right. Everything looks proper. Great job. And he's reporting some real news. He's reporting something like from a perspective of someone that's knowledgeable, someone that gives a damn, not even from an official reporter, someone that has to uphold that same integrity that a lot of these real reporters and writers and whatnot do not uphold. So kudos to him for that. As far as the left being so butthurt about what's going on with this documentary, this movie, you're exposing yourselves. You look foolish while doing so. That's my take for now. I would love to hear what y'all have to say about this.